right, welcome back. Welcome back to another Checo Forex live stream. I hope everybody had a fantastic day. Today the markets were kind of choppy. Not much going on today. But let's dive in and take a look at where we were today. Um, let's start off. Let me go into the weekly here first on the gold chart. Now, one thing I want to point out is the previous week we have this long topping tail. We got this wick all the way up and gold flipped and closed bearish here. Now this current weekly, right, has actually opened with no top wick, pulled down, then we pulled up, and now we made a top wick, and now we're flipping bearish. So I expect the continuation down. Um, Hopefully, by the end of the week, we'll come down and if we re-break the lows here or re-break the previous weekly lows, we should drive down. Next target will probably be maybe the bottom of this here or this support level around 3100, 3090, something like that. That's kind of the overall bias, but the market does go up and down, especially on the intraday. So all right, so um previous daily closed with no top wick. So it's possible we might pull up, make a top wick here, but we did make a top wick on this candle. Now if we start coming down and re-break the previous daily lows, we should drive down and grab these wicks here. That's my expectation here. So everything's pointing bearish. I mean, we do have somewhat of a bearish flag pattern here. We have the highs here, and now we're kind of forming this flag pattern here on gold, right? So we have this pattern here. So I think any given moment we'll break out of this pattern and kind of start dropping down. All right, let's see what else we have here. Oops, this thing freeze on me here, sorry guys. There we go. All right, let's drop it down to the 4-hour, right? We have a 4-hour closure coming up in about 19 minutes or so. And again, previous 4-hour closed bearish, forming this resistance here. We made a top wick, and now we're flipping. We took out the previous 4-hour lows, so I expect a continuation. Now, let's see if we get a bearish closure in the next 18 minutes or so. If we do, let's see, we have support formed right here. Right, so we have this support level here off the 4-hour, and we're starting to come down here. We're kind of in that range right there. So we're chopping in here pretty much all day, almost. So I could expect this to break and continue to move down, and then come down and tap into this support level. What's this? 32 like 32.82. But again, we might make a wick up and tap into the highs here, and then drive down. But let's see how this candle closes first, right? Because if we get a bullish closure here, then this thing might want to come back up, maybe even break up to this level here. There's no top wick on this candle either. All right, so we'll wait for closures. All right, 1 hour. Excuse me. 1 hour. Look at this chop, man. I mean, look at all these candles here. Absolutely nothing going on. Nothing. Very simple range, gang. Look at that. Very simple. Very simple. So we did pull up, retested the resistance level here, and then got pushed all the way down here. And again, we're starting to continue. If we get a break and closure below here, it's a good position to enter and come down and fill this range. So we'll wait for candle closures, right? All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ here. I'm gonna start off on the daily time frame on the NASDAQ. We did make a run up towards the end of the day, right? And we did get a bullish closure here, And now we're starting to kind of come down, but we do have a gap to fill at the top of the range here, so we kind of gap down a little bit and haven't filled that gap yet. But it's possible we might continue upwards here, and there's a couple of key levels that we want to look for. So we have that high off the daily right here. It's not crazy to think that the Nasdaq tap up here before continuing down and then taking out these lows down here. So yeah, I expect the Nasdaq to come down, take out these lows here once we retest the highs here, if we get up that far. Or we might just make a lower high and then roll over and start coming all the way back down. Right? All right. Let's take a look at the 4-hour here. We still have a gap fill down here, all right, at about 18,258. Gap hasn't been filled yet. The 4 hours kind of range, but it is kind of trickling upwards here. But we're in a range here off the 4 hours. So also mark that here. It will look something like this, right? So we're kind of in that range, but we keep making these higher lows, higher low, higher low. Let's see if we're gonna come down. If this thing pushes up and closes above, I'll be ready to take the buys up to that level that I marked earlier. There will be these highs up here, but then we also have this resistance off the 4 hour here, so about 19,666. Yeah, we use the wick. Yeah, about 19,675 actually, just about. But we'll see if we're gonna make that attempt to push up, right? All right, let's take a look at the 1 hour here. Again, a lot of chop, not much going on here. So that's the bottom of the range there, and then we made a new bit of a higher high here, and now we're kind of rolling over here. So let's see if we're gonna, maintain this, this higher low, higher low, higher low pattern, and then kind of start flipping back up here. But if we start coming down and we take out this area right here, yeah, we break below this here, then we're gonna come down and fill the range and potentially continue to move down. So that's pretty much it on in the markets and the markups. It's very simple. I mean, you look at these trend line resistance. Well, I set up the horizontal level, but then this is so we have this low right here with this wick, comes right across. These candles wick below that trend line. This one tapped right into it, got pushed back up. We might come back down, and if this thing starts to trickle down, the horizontal and the trend line here, they meet right here around 19,360. So a very strong area of support here. So if we come down to this level, it might get rejected back up. So we'll keep an eye on that area there. But a break below these lines here, we should definitely come down and fill the range. So you can easily mark it up off the 1 hour. You can see it here clearly. This was the low, then it tapped right here, and now we're making our way down. We might tap into it right around this area, probably with a intertwine right here. So we will just kind of keep an eye on it. I'll leave that trend line there in case we want to take a look at it. But right now I'm just gonna focus on gold and see what happens. 12 minutes of candle closures, and we're starting to come down to the bottom of the range here. Yeah, any closures below here, we should be good to go. In the 4 hour, like I said, it pulled up, made a top wick here, tapped right into resistance, and as it came down, it took out the previous 4 hour lows. So I would expect continuation down, but again, we're in this range, so even if we come down, we might get rejected from this level and pull back up. So, but if we close bearish like this on this candle in the next was that 11 minutes or so, what I will wait for is the new 4 hour to come up, make a top wick, right? Give us a top wick, and then either we'll take the wick entry, or at that point then we'll wait for the break of the 4-hour lows, and then we'll take it down to 32.82. Yeah, so we get this. Wow, look at this bearish hammer candle. I just want a bottom wick here on this 1 hour. So as long as it gives us a bottom wick on the closure here, we should be fine. And then we'll try to execute as get the opportunity. See what the key levels here are. All right. Yeah, so we have resistance at 33.73, 34.22. This is probably off the daily time frame right here. And then these are the lows right here. So yeah, I would expect, the targets to be down at around that 32.64, and then potentially even 3100 down there where we were looking at that daily support all the way at the bottom. So yeah, so this is the target expected for gold to continue to move down, but right, it doesn't always move straight down. Sometimes we started coming down here and people started selling. Then what happens? The market goes like that. It ranges, then it pulls even further up, gives a bigger pullback, and so on. So I would have considered this sell here, assuming we were going to respect this level, but I didn't come on stream early enough, so we already missed that move down, but it's all good. Yeah, that 1 hour is giving us that bottom wick, so let's see what happens with the new 4-hour candle opening, and we should be making a top wick. Let's take a look at this. Gold consolidate. Signs of easing in U.S. tariffs impact may weigh market talk. May weigh market talk, exactly. So let's see. Apparently, there's easing in the U.S. tariffs. Tuesday moved to soften effects of automotive tariffs again, right? Preventing duties on foreign-made cars from stacking on top of other tariffs. He has imposed an easing some levies on foreign parts used to make cars in the U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said in a CNBC interview that he had reached a trade deal with an unnamed country. Gold is constrained with an unnamed country. Why unnamed? Why can't you name it? Gold is constrained in near term as rapidly changing conditions around global trade risks have tempered momentum. Listen, if any news with tariffs comes in where either they came to some sort of agreement, which in that statement it said that there was an agreement made, but the country will remain unnamed. So I don't know who he made an agreement with or what this government is doing at this point. But the tariff news is definitely going to affect the markets. Let me take a look at something here real quick. Oh, okay. We have GDP tomorrow. Yeah, we have some key news tomorrow. So we have our the GDP data coming out tomorrow, which is super important. And Eastern time, right? We have the core PCE, which we all know that that's the main report that the Fed uses, right, to determine and and make decisions on monetary policy. So that's going to be super important. It's expected to come in lower by 0.3%. So pending home sales, that looks like it might drop. So yeah, we have to just basically take it for what it is. I would say that the economy's it's shooken up, I think, with all the tariff and all that stuff happening. Um, but apparently, those tariffs that have already been imposed, for the time being, has generated. I think I saw some data saying it generated about $21 billion in revenue for the U.S. For the country. So it's good, but at the same time, right? The consumers, dealing with higher prices on imported goods, and I guess that's those are the side effects, I would suppose. But yeah, let's see. We still lead with price action. We guide ourselves by price action here. So what the candles print, it kind of indicates what the move will be, right? So once we see our plan and our trade setup, you know, present itself, then we will be ready to execute. So, all right, gang, just hang tight. We got 5 minutes to candle closure, and you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 5 minutes. Anticipating some volume as well. Later in the evening. Hopefully, we'll get an opportunity to take a trade tonight. Oh man, wow, the Nasdaq is dipping. Let's see. Okay, all right. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. So you see again, um, if you want to anticipate or have some sort of like plan on how you're gonna execute, this is what I would do right off the 1 hour on the Nasdaq, right? So we got this low again, right? We got the trend line, right? Tapped here, tapped here. You know, this was the support form when this candle tapped in. So if we can come down and get a closure below, which again would be right coinciding somewhat with this trend line, um, I would probably wait for the break and retest of the trend line. Yeah, in this case, that's you know the higher probability trade. But a closure below this support, once we get a closure below that, I will be inclined to take that sell down. Yeah, it's a lot of range. I mean, it's like a 240 pip range all the way to the bottom here. So it's not bad. It's not a bad trade if this thing can close below here. Yeah, I would have, man. Yeah, but I wasn't streaming at the time, so sometimes I'm not on the charts 24 hours. I give myself a break from time to time. I traded the New York session, and took a couple of good trades this morning. I think I took my last trade around probably around 10 a.m. or so, 10:30. And yeah, I've been off the charts the whole day. Once I made my profits, you know, kind of just lay low and focus on other things, right? But coming on to stream now, when I was able to look at the charts, look at that. This previous 4 hour closed bearish, and then this candle comes up, makes a top wick. I would have definitely taken the wick entry here. Stops would probably been tight though, right? Probably just above these highs right here. Maybe 10 or 12 pips up here above the highs, and take that wick entry down, and expecting the 4 hour to come back down and break the low. So let's see. So yeah, definitely pulled up, came down, rebroke previous 4 hour lows. So I expect continuation, but because we're getting a new candle, what I wouldn't want though is if the new 4 hour candle, for example, will open up, break the 4 hour lows here, and then come down. Let's say tap into support. You know, basically making a bottom wick first before flipping. You know, I mean, if it opens up with no top wick and it just runs, then it's fine. You know, but as soon as we get somewhat of a top wick, um, in this case, let's say we got 50 seconds. All right, it's around 33. So yeah, if I can get a top wick, maybe 33.15 or 33.17 up here, I'll take a sell from there. Stops will probably be again up here. Let's see. All right, gang, 30 seconds. Yeah, I need a bottom wick here too. Yeah, we got a bottom wick right here. 15 seconds. Beautiful, beautiful closure here. Now we wait for a top wick, gang. Okay, no top wick. Let's see. Let's hold off here. Yeah, it's gonna. I don't want this to run without us here. Yeah, broke the lows first. Okay. Well, either way, if this thing runs down, I'm not taking this trade. I need a top wick first. I need this to come up, make a top wick. I want to see this move up a little bit more. This could have been it, gang, but we can always wait for the break of the lows here. Yeah, I want to see a steeper wick. Yeah, we don't get it. It's all good. Jose, what's good, my brother? What is that? Commitment of traders. I'm not too sure. I haven't taken a look at the COT data yet, but um, was that today you saw that, Jose? When was it? When was it you read that? I didn't read that today. I think I looked at it over the weekend, as a matter of fact, but not this week so far. Ooh, there it goes. It broke its own low. All right, gang. Again, this is an area to consider, right? If we would have gotten a steeper wick, we take that impulse entry, right? But we didn't get it. Now it's coming down, but it's gonna run into this support. So what I would do in this case is wait for a closure below. Right? No need to force that. Because it moves pretty quick, you know. You don't want to get caught up. This could be bouncing off, testing the support level, and then making the move up. Yeah, 4 hours is starting to come down. Let's push it back up. I hope none of you guys jumped the gun. Yeah, that's why you gotta be patient and wait, because you know, this thing moves really rather quickly. So again, we have the support level that it came and tapped into here. My advice would be to wait for the break of that support level. Yeah, if anything, I'm gonna take this off the 30-minute then tonight. If the 30-minute can come down and close below, that would be great. I'll take this sell off the 30-minute. Yeah, ideally we will want to, you know, break out of this range here, right? Look at this, very obvious, this range here, and you know, look at it off the 1 hour, stretch it out like this, and we have all this right here. So, you know, the high probability trades, right, is if we get a closure below, we break this support level, or we flip, right, and break this, and then you might want to retest these highs up here, which is not crazy. We already made this move down, consolidated, and we should, you know, continue to move down here. But market does what it wants. Now we're just waiting for this candle to see what it's going to do. All right, so the NASDAQ, remember I told you guys, we got the range. So got the low, higher low, higher low. Now we came down, and now if this candle were to close bullish here, will mean that support, that would be the new higher low, and you would assume that the NASDAQ is gonna pull back up, right, and make a higher high. It's like that. We'll see. That's how I see it right here. Gold about to flip, make this top wicket. Yeah, I think that it's gonna be tough to. I don't even know about taking a sell here. So we already came down, broke the lows here, and now we're reflipping. This daily with no top wick is a little concerning. But like I said, if we can come down and re-break those lows at around 3,300, it should be fine. If we can break the previous daily lows here. And there's these wicks right here. It's starting to push back up here. There goes that top wick on the 4-hour here. All right. It's also possibly reflipping the daily candle bullish here too. So it's not a good setting. Yeah, this would have been like the wick inch I would have taken. Wouldn't have made this bottom wick first. But we came down, bounced off support, and now we're pushing up, which is different. We have to see if it's gonna come up and retest up here. If that's the case, if we can do that in the next 40 minutes or so, I don't know if I'll be here that long, but the 30 minutes bouncing off. If the 15 can close bearish, that'll be a good sign. But let's keep it here on the 15-minute just to see how this candle prints here in the next 9 minutes. I was looking to move up. Yeah, if we do come up to the top of the range, I'll probably be setting up for sales from the top of the range here, but I was trying to move up here. I mean, this could still be that 4-hour top wick as well. Yeah, we rebroke the previous 30 highs. We're probably just gonna come up and take the highs here and then reflip. It's possible. I'm gonna consider that scalp trade here. That 3320.1. All right. Yeah, gang. All right, I took a sell right here. Stop still gonna be just above these candle highs, around 33, 31 now. I'm gonna take that chance. I got in at a 0.30 lot, so I went in smaller than my average lot. And then small risk. Again, I'm risking very minimal. I use a small lot size, but I think we can grab. How many pips is this on the way down if we can fill the range? Yeah, it's about 100, 138 pips or so. Not bad. Not bad. All right, let's see. Let's see what this is gonna look like. Yeah, 3320 dot 83. Yeah, small risk. You know. Hey Wayne, how do you use excuse me, how do you use chart? I don't understand your question, my brother. What do you mean how to use chart? You mean trading view? Is this what you mean? Like how to draw up and mark up your lines and stuff like that? Is that what you mean, or you're looking at your personal broker's chart? All right, we're currently up 5 pips here. Okay, there we go. All right, we're up 11 pips here. We're gonna keep this on a short leash. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's down yet. All right, 21 pips. 21 pips in profit. Gang, I went break even right away. And the reason why I did that is because, again, the plan behind the trade, right, was after we made the bottom wick, assuming that the 4 hour was just coming up to make its top wick right here. When I looked at the 30-minute, it was probably coming up to re-break the 30 highs, right? And then anticipate the flip. So we're currently running, yeah, about 21 pips. I'm sorry, 26 pips. I haven't closed partials yet, but I'm break even, you know, just running, holding it risk free right now. It's a good move here, gang. Let's see if we survive it, though. Yeah, I want to see if this thing's going to flip and continue to push down. But yeah, I went break even, risk free here. Let's see if this 30-minute won't pull up to take us out with this top wick here. I want to anticipate that move here. Okay. Will we survive this or what? Yeah, 30 already gave us a top wick here. I just want to see if we'll continue to push down, or was this the bottom wick and is it going to flip? But if we already made this top wick come down, this candle open, give us a small top wick, and then it's starting to flip now. That would be good. Let's see if we can get a drive down or a drive up. We got the volume at 930 here, so let's see if that volume pushes down. All right, looks like it's pulling up here, gang. Will we survive? Yeah, I'm still in it. All right. Yeah, we peaked down at about 35 pips. So that was a 35 pip move there, which is not bad, you know, but let's see if we can make another run down. All right, so we made a top wick, didn't take us out. I'm still holding this trade, gang. I think now we came up again and make a steeper wick, bit of a more of a top wick here. If we reflip and re-break its own low here on the 30-minute, we should drive down. I'll wait for that here in the next couple minutes, and if we come back and re-break the low, I'm going to take partials at 35 pips there, and call it a day. Probably hold a small runner, or I'll probably just close full. If we reflip, I'm gonna close full at 35 pips here. Yeah, that's a pretty solid bag. About $100 at a 0.30 lot. It's not bad. I want to see this thing drive all the way down though. Dang, if you haven't gone risk free, make sure you do that now. Just take the risk off the table, man. You manage your risk properly, and yeah. Yep. Have to go back up. Yeah, we're still in this trade, gang. It's up about 14 pips at the moment. I just want to see if we can come down and just reflip bearish here on the 30-minute and break the lows. That would keep me entertained on this trade, but it's not looking. Doesn't look like it wants to come back down. Oh, yep. Yeah, I got stopped out here, gang. All right, hit my break even, closed me out with like 4 pips in profit. All right, gang. That was it was worth the shot. We did peak at about 35 pips, but then it flipped back up. Yeah. Now it made this bottom wick here. If it flips and re-breaks the 30-minute highs, then I would expect gold to come up to the top of the range, and then we can figure out what to do up here if it's gonna um, hold here, just like it did here. This wick got rejected here. Let's see. Or is it going to break above and continue to drive up? So, yeah. Thought we were going to get that push down. I mean, the 4-hour closed bearish. So, again, this to me could still be a top wick. This top wick could want to come up and grab the previous 4-hour highs up here, the wick. So, it's possible to come up, tap into that support. Resistance, or maybe even break above slightly. But I would expect this to continue to push down here eventually. So, yeah. It's either, to play it safe, right? If you want to get the higher probabilities off the 1 hour, just wait for a closure below this support here, or a closure above that resistance right here. So see how we came down, tapped in, and now we're pushing all the way up. So you might want to grab this wick, or again, close above and target these highs up here, 33, 50, 52. So if this resistance is respected, then we can assume it'll come back down at least to the bottom of the range. And I mean, that's about 302 pips here. I'm sorry, about 200 pips, 202 pips. It's a nice range, pretty big range here. You can trade that off the smaller time frames, like 30, 15 minute, but I usually trade off the 1 hour, so I usually wait. This was a move off the 30, just take a scalp entry, and again, we were in solid profits, but pull back up, took us out, and I will wait for closures above here or closures below here. In essence, this whole range in here is a no trade range, right? It's too choppy. All right, gang. Yeah. It's not much going on. There might be some more volume for London later, and that's fine. Again, the NASDAQ, nothing. I mean, this candle, it's been an entire hour. It has done nothing. So, yeah, it's, Asia's pretty slow tonight. So, no big deal, gang. And I'm going to call it here, gang. I'll call it. And for my platform members, we will be trading the New York session tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. We have GDP data coming out, existing home sales as well. We got a lot of information tomorrow. So, yeah. Again, I appreciate you guys, Jose Trades, Tony, Shorty, Fluidity. I appreciate you guys tuning in, hanging out. Just going over the charts, marking it up, because even though it doesn't play out for the Asia session, right, because of the volume, this is the idea. For example, the NASDAQ, on this somewhat of a uptrend channel here, if this thing can come back down, break below, or pull up and close above, we can expect a move in either direction. All right, gang. So just wait for your setup, gang. Appreciate it. Have a great night, everyone. God bless, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. All right, peace out.